Welcome to BaseballGuys.com. I'm your host on Around the Horn, Ray Flowers. Let's get right to it here on Wednesday at BaseballGuys.com. Let's start out with the situation in the ninth inning with the Brewers, because we all know at this point of the season, any save you can get can make a big difference. 5 or 6 saves one way or the other on your team, on your opponent's team, can make all the difference in the standing of those pitching categories. The Brewers, up and down in that ninth inning. They haven't known what direction they were going to go with K-Rod, it's Henderson, it's Axford. Well, the team has recommitted to John Axford. Now, he's only 3 for his last 5 in save opportunities. And since he was demoted from that closer's role, his ERA has been 4.85, so it's not like he's been pitching great. But overall, he still has a better than 1.6 ground ball to fly ball ratio, which is very strong. He's still striking out more than 11.2 batters per 9 innings pitched, another very impressive total. Axford has the stuff, the talent, the makeup, and the success previously in the role to think he could take off once again. It's not a certainty because he has struggled with his control at times this season, and the performance has not always been there. But if you need to take a shot, if for some reason Axford was let go in your mixed league, pick him up because the Brewers will try to get him back on track and working that ninth inning for the club. Maybin is a guy who had a lot of expectations coming into the season. Stole 40 bases last year. Was a solid depth play, obviously, in mixed league, a fantastic play in NL League. He's really struggled this season. In fact, until the last couple of days, it's been a massively disappointing effort for Maybin, who's got only 22 steals, obviously no chance to get to the 40 he got to last season. Now, the good news with Maybin is the last 3 games he's played, he has 10 hits, including a 4-for-4 effort on Tuesday night, raising his batting average up to 230. Now, that's still terrible. But here's the positive with Maybin. Not only has he been hot of late, his ground ball to fly ball ratio is about the same as it always is. His line drive rate is a wee bit down, but it's pretty much the same as it always is. Yet somehow his batting average on balls in play is 279, when the last 3 seasons it's been at least 313 or better. Given his speed, given his makeup, and given the way he hits the ball, you would have to be thinking that that batting average on balls in play could continue to rise. If it does continue to rise to mirror what he has done each of the last 3 seasons, we could see Maybin not take off in the batting average category, but we could see him slowly improve the rest of the way. Maybe he gets that average up to 250 by the time the season is over. Whether or not he does that, I would think that Cameron Maybin is an option to hit 270 plus the rest of the season. And if he does that while stealing bases, he's definitely someone you should be paying close attention to. Another player to pay close attention to, I can't say it, is Tim Lincecum. I told you he'd come back. It was just a matter of time that he would come back. He hasn't come all the way back, I will grant you that. But since the All-Star break, he's made 8 starts, including the one last night that allowed the Giants to go up a game and a half on the Dodgers. 1 run allowed to that club. In his 8 starts since the All-Star break, Tim Lincecum has a 3.10 ERA and a 1.28 WHIP. Again, not tremendous numbers, but very solid work on the hill. He's also struck out a batter per inning and has a 3-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio, and that's been key. Throwing strikes all year has been his bugaboo. He's done a much better job of that since the All-Star break. The freak isn't back, but he certainly isn't the pitcher that was a dreadful disappointment early in the season. Now he's back to being really good. We'll have to wait and see if he gets back to being really great. A guy who has been great after an atrocious start to the season is Garrett Jones. Yeah, the Garrett Jones of the Pirates, folks. First 2 months of the season, 5 home runs and 15 RBIs. Just wasn't getting it done, wasn't playing every day, was a disappointment. Each of the 3 months since then, he's had 5 home runs and 15 RBIs in each month. And it's much better than that of late. Since the All-Star break, he's hitting .318, 9 home runs, 32 RBIs in 37 games played. And in the month of August, even better. 5 home runs, 20 RBIs in 20 games played in the month of August for Garrett Jones. He's streaking, he's on fire, he's playing almost every day. He's worth a look in all mixed leagues at the moment. The guy is also hitting, by the way, .368 for the month of August. Now, a guy who you might want to look at in league-specific setups, someone who's not going to be a mixed league option, is David Cooper of the Blue Jays. Who's David Cooper? He's on the Blue Jays, if you didn't know that. He's a first base option. I've seen some time at the designated hitter spot as well. Now, he's been in and out of the lineup with some injuries. He's been in and out of the lineup being promoted and demoted based upon how a guy like Adam Lind has been doing. But Cooper has played 44 games this season. Again, we're talking AL only here. 44 games this season, and he's hitting .297. That's pretty impressive work for a guy that no one's really talking about, no one's really paying attention to. AL-only leaguers continue to ride Cooper. The Blue Jays obviously want to see what they've got. There's some concern when Jose Bautista comes back, what the playing time situation will be with Cooper. But I think it's going to be pretty tough for the Blue Jays to forget about a guy who's darn near hitting 300 for him this year. Nate McLouth, McLouth. Let's go with McLouth. Nate McLouth is now on the Orioles. You may not be aware of that fact, but he, yes, has resurfaced with the Orioles. He's only played 16 games with that club, but he scored 9 runs, stolen 4 bases, hitting .255. Looks like he's going to get a chance to play almost every day for the Orioles. Obviously, another player who's a league-specific option, McLouth. Let's not forget 2008 and 2009. Not that long ago. 2008 and 2009. This guy was a 2020 player who averaged 80 RBIs and 100 runs scored. Now, he's only 30 years old as well, so I'm not predicting greatness from Nate McLouth, but he is someone you should be paying very, very close attention to league-specific setup. And if he gets on a roll, you might even pay attention in next week. And finally, Brett Anderson had a great outing last night against the Twins. Now, it's the Twins, so I'm not getting overly excited about one outing. It's his first outing back on the hill in over a year since having Tommy John surgery on his elbow. 7 innings, 1 run allowed. Everyone's excited about Anderson. People should be excited about Anderson if you're in a 15-team mixed league. If you're in an AL-only league, if you're in a 10 or 12-team mix, you can add him if you have a dead spot in your lineup. You can add him if you have a spot that you've been wasting with someone who's not very good, if you have redundancy at a position. But don't expect greatness from Brett Anderson. For his career, his strikeout per 9 rate is just under 7, so he's not going to help you out a lot in that category. He may not go deep into games the rest of the way as the A's look to manage his workload, which might mean he's not a great option for victories. He has, in his career, been a very solid ratio pitcher, a whip in the 1-2s, an ERA of barely over 3, actually it's 3.62, a little higher than he would prefer, but still below the league average, and better than a 3-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio. So he's highly skilled, he looks to be healthy, he has a spot in the rotation as the A's have demoted Dan Straley. Give Anderson that shot. Take a chance on Anderson, keep the expectations in check. This guy looks like he's ready to contribute right now for the Oakland Athletics for your fantasy squad. I'm Ray Flowers, BaseballGuys.com. Thanks for joining me on Around the Horn. Talk to y'all again soon.